Hello everyone, Tyrone here from Type Fitness Solutions. Now today I want to talk to you about why it's important to have low carb and high carb cycling through your training and nutrition for fat loss and health and overall well-being. Now basically in your body you have two cases. You have insulin resistance and insulin sensitivity. Now insulin sensitivity means that your body is actually going to utilize carbohydrates as an energy store. Insulin resistance means that you're not sensitive to carbohydrates. It means when you consume them, your muscle won't adapt or your muscle won't absorb them to replenish glycogen. Now, the way you create that is you actually need to deplete existing glycogen stores for the carbohydrates to actually work. Now, in the word carbohydrates, they hydrate existing muscle stores, right? So if your existing muscle stores aren't depleted of carbohydrates, then how do you expect to rehydrate them? Does that make sense? So you have to deplete them to rehydrate them. Okay, this is where it comes into the leaner you are, the more carbohydrates you deserve in your nutrition plan. The fatter you are, or the more weight you have, or the more fat you have, the less carbohydrates you actually deserve in your nutrition plan. This is also relative to your workload, to basically your training. The more you train, the more you deplete muscle glycogen. Obviously, you need more carbohydrates to rehydrate the muscle mass. If you're not training and you want to lose weight, okay, or you want to lose fat, well then you don't deserve the carbohydrates, plain and simple. So in that sense, you're basically wanting to create a carbohydrate or an insulin sensitive environment. This is why low carbohydrates or carbohydrate depletion diets can work very, very well. It's because you're restricting the carbohydrates, the energy source, so the muscles actually start to crave. Now, insulin sensitivity is related to the muscle cells being open to absorb energy from carbohydrates. The insulin resistance is the muscle cells being closed. So when you go into a low carbohydrate diet, you actually cause the body muscle receptors to open up, become more sensitive to carbohydrates. Okay, so when you consume carbohydrates from the body, you're basically creating insulin from the pancreas. That insulin transports that energy into the muscle cells. If the muscle cells are closed, okay, insulin resistance, then you can't store that to rehydrate muscle. The energy is still wanted to be used so it feeds existing fat stores, so you slowly get fatter and fatter and fatter. People overconsume things, especially like high in sugar, high in soft drink, things like that, breads, pastas that have a really high insulin reaction. If you're not insulin sensitivity, if you don't have insulin sensitivity, these aren't going to be your best friends if you're trying to lose weight or get lean. So this is why you would go on a low carbohydrate. The leaner you get, the more carbohydrates can be actually reduced back in your nutrition relative to your actual workload and when you're training, depleting glycogen cells in the gym, okay? So I hope this clears up a few things about why you should go low carb and when you should be introducing carbohydrates back. My name's Tyrone Jensen from Type Fitness Solutions. Happy training, stay fit, healthy and strong, and good luck.